Hello everyone. So today first our discussion will be based on the revision test that was taken in previous day. I hope you all are sitting with the copy where you have written the answer and now you will do the correction. It was a 12 marks question paper and we are starting with the first question. Why water is a compound but air is a mixture? Now this is a very important question. It was there in class 6 also and repeatedly I have said that this is very important. 2 marks were there. 1 mark for the first part, that why water is a compound, and second mark the second part, that is air is a mixture, there 1 mark. Now first part, why water is a compound. Now water is a compound because in water the individual property of hydrogen and oxygen is lost, and in water the percentage or the proportion of hydrogen and oxygen remain fixed always. So you can give these 2 points. Other than this, points are there like separation points and all those things are there, but you can give these 2 points. Whereas in case of air, the individual properties of the component present in air like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, their properties remain same, unchanged. And in air, the proportions of individual components vary from each place to another place. Also you can write about that in water the separation of hydrogen and oxygen is not possible by a very easy physical methods, whereas for air it can be done with the physical methods, and then multiple points are there. But I suggest the most important 2 points are about this presence of the components in the proportion matter, that in varying changing proportion in case of air, in case of water is fixed. And this most important point I find, that property, remaining of the property and the lifting of the property. So 2 marks, 1 plus 1. Second is give example of a solid homogeneous mixture. Now here specification is there, give one example. Do not write the term alloy. Alloy is a class of substance which are having multiple examples. So you give the example directly. You can give stainless steel, you can give the example as bronze, brush, but do not write the term alloy, because alloy, if you are writing, it's giving a wide variety. Specifically you mention the name of the alloy. So solid homogeneous mixture, it can be stainless steel, brush or bronze or German silver. 1 mark for this. Liquid heterogeneous mixture. Liquid heterogeneous. Heterogeneous, it's very simple, water and oil. 1 mark for this. Question number 3, principle involved magnetic separation. Now you can see here every question carries 1 mark. So magnetic separation principle involves this: when a mixture contains a magnetic substance and others non-magnetic substance, then it can be separated by using a magnet, as magnetic component can be attracted by the magnet and rest remain unaffected. So that's principle. Fractional distillation is when there are mixture of liquids, miscible liquids. The term miscible has to be there. When there is mixture of miscible liquids and there is a very low difference in their boiling point, then by keeping them inside a fractional setup and by gradual increasing the temperature, we get the two liquids get separated. The two liquids get separated through this. So the principle is, it is applied for the miscible liquid mixtures where there is a very less difference in boiling point, and based on their evaporations or fractional evaporation and then collection in a flask, they can be separated. 1 for each. Question number 4, what type of mixture is separated by chromatography? Mixtures where the components of the mixtures are having very much similarities in their properties, and if they are in a very small amount, then also it can be separated by chromatography. Main important point is they have very much similarities in their properties. 1 mark. And give example, can be separation of the components of ink, pigments from leaf, anyone. Question number 5. Take the technique to separate. Now, technique means you no need to describe. You just need to write a technique. First is sand and common salt. Now, common salt is soluble in water, but sand is not. So, if you are writing solvent extraction, you have to mention the name of the solvent, that is water in bracket. Or you can write that by adding water and then further filtration. That is, I think, better to write. Only one sentence, by adding water and then further filtration. Solvent extraction, again I am repeating, if you are writing, you must mention the term water, otherwise no mark for it. Question number 2, water and ethyl alcohol. Both of them are miscible in each other, so it is fractional distillation. Third is chalk dust and water, simply filtration. Some of you may have written evaporation, but I guess filtration is the easiest. Always try to choose the easiest one, filtration. How will you recover, question number 5, how will you recover water from saline solution? Now, this type of cases, when it is mentioned that you need the water back, in this case you cannot do evaporation, because if you are doing evaporation, the water molecules will escape out. So, how will you recover water? So, simple answer is distillation. So, 1 mark, so only writing distillation is enough. So, this was total 12 mark question. Then these are the types of questions that come generally. So, as previous day we started our discussion on atomic structure. We had atoms, molecules and atomicity. This 3 little bit of part we had a discussion. Today, little idea again I am giving you all about these atom, molecules and ions, atom, molecules and atomicity. First, to tell you all the elements which were there in class 6. If you have the class 6 book, I hope you all are having. Take out the class 6 book, then take out the chapter where you first read about those atom, molecules, that chapter. There you will find a box where 20 elements and their symbols are written. Like hydrogen H, helium He, then lithium Li. In this way there are 20 element symbols which are written in the book. Revise those symbols once again. This is going to be very important for this chapter as well as the next chapter. So those revisions are very much important. Now every elements, they are total 118 elements. They are composed of atoms. Now let's discuss a little bit about what is inside there of atom. Atoms are made up of subatomic particles. There is a scientist called John Dalton initially who stated about this atom. In his atomic theory, he said that atom is indivisible and we cannot break down atom. But as you know, the scientists, they keep on doing the research to get something new, to know something new. So initially that idea was there that atom was indivisible, but later on different scientists like William Crookes, then Rutherford, you will read about them later on. These scientists, they came up with the ideas that no, atom is consisting of subatomic particles. They contains basically, most importantly, 3 subatomic particles, namely electron, proton and neutron. Other than these, there are more subatomic particles as well, but inside atom, these 3 are playing major roles. We know atoms are neutral because everywhere the substance, everything is neutral. Atoms are neutral, but inside atom, among these 3 subatomic particles, electrons are negatively charged, proton is positively charged and neutron is neutral. Now as inside an atom, electrons and protons, their numbers are equal, so they are neutralizing each other. Neutron is neutral, so atom is as a whole neutral species. But inside atom there are charged electron and charged proton. Negatively charged, positively charged, both the particles are coexisting inside an atom, but as a whole atom is neutral. It's very interesting. Next day we will be continuing. Today up to this. Take care. Again I am repeating chapter 1 and chapter 2. Keep revising for the test. Take care and bye.